When did you realize your child wasn't who you thought they were? I got the call at 2 a.m. from the police. Ma'am, we have your son Nate in custody. There's been an incident at the old Riverside warehouse. This can't be happening. Nate was supposed to be at his friend Josh's house playing video games. I grabbed my keys and drove to the station, running every red light on the way. When I got there, the officer explained that Nate and 3 other kids had been caught breaking into an abandoned warehouse. But here's where it gets weird. They weren't vandalizing or stealing. They were running some kind of underground food operation. I had no clue what he meant until they brought Nate out. He looked exhausted, but also kind of relieved, like he'd been carrying this massive weight and was glad it was finally over. During the drive home, everything spilled out. For 6 months, Nate had been collecting leftover food from restaurants that were about to throw it away, then redistributing it to homeless people downtown. He'd been lying about sleepovers, ditching classes, and taking my car without permission to drive to the warehouse at night. The incident happened because a security guard spotted lights in the building and reported a break-in. Part of me wanted to hug him for trying to help people. The other part wanted to kill him for lying to me for half a year and putting himself in danger. I grounded him and figured we were done with this mess. Then Josh's mom called the next day, absolutely losing her mind. She started yelling about how Nate had been corrupting her son and dragging him into criminal activities. I tried explaining they were helping people, but she wasn't having it. That's when she hit me with the real story. According to Josh, Nate hadn't been feeding homeless people at all. He'd been selling the food. The whole thing was a scam where they'd grab free restaurant leftovers and flip them to college students for crazy prices, calling it gourmet restaurant surplus. I confronted Nate, and he swore Josh was just scared and making stuff up. He even pulled out his phone and showed me pictures of him handing meals to people under bridges. The photos looked legit, so I believed him. The cops dropped the charges since technically nothing was stolen, but the school got involved because Nate had been skipping so much. During our meeting, the counselor mentioned they'd been checking Nate's social media as part of their investigation. Then she showed me printed screenshots that made me want to throw up. Nate had been posting about his business venture online, bragging about making hundreds of dollars weekly by flipping restaurant garbage to desperate college kids. There were detailed guides about which restaurants had the best leftovers, storage tips, even customer reviews. The worst post was from 2 weeks before. My mom actually thinks I'm some kind of saint feeding homeless people LMAO. Adults are so gullible. Why would I give away free money? When I shoved the screenshots in his face, Nate completely broke down. He admitted everything. Those homeless people in his photos, he'd paid them $20 each to pose. The entire charity story was just cover in case he got busted. He'd been running a legit business selling restaurant scraps to college students, but knew I'd flip out about him skipping school and breaking into buildings for it. So he invented this perfect lie about helping the homeless because he knew it would make me proud instead of furious. The manipulation was so calculated. He'd figured out exactly what would make me emotional and crafted this whole elaborate story around it. Even worse, he'd been laughing about how easily he'd played me online for months. Josh's mom had every right to be pissed. Nate convinced her son to lie to his parents, skip school, and join what was basically an illegal food resale business. Meanwhile, I'm thinking he's some teenage Mother Teresa. I had to apologize to Josh's family, the school, and several restaurant owners who felt violated that their thrown-out food was being sold without permission. Nate lost most of his friends when word spread about how he'd manipulated everyone. Now I'm stuck wondering who my kid actually is. Was he the boy who wanted to help people, or the one who saw helping people as a convenient cover story? Is he a smart entrepreneur, or just a really good liar? He's grounded indefinitely, but honestly, the punishment feels pointless compared to discovering I've been living with a complete stranger.